No matter what you try, your loved one with dementia just does not want to do anything, does not want to engage in any activity, not even their favorite things that they used to love to do. Maybe all they want to do, quote unquote, all they want to do is watch TV all day. What can you do? What can we do, Rachel?
First things first, we want to make sure we're asking the person for help instead of do you want to? That's the biggest mistake that we see is someone saying, "Do you want to do this thing?" And of course, the person living with dementia says, "No.
No.
Nope, nope." Asking someone for help, "Can you help me?" Not "Do you want to help me?" but "Can you help me?" is going to be a much higher success rate getting them to actually do that thing.
Absolutely. Let's make sure that whatever we're asking them to do is age appropriate as well. So if you've been hearing about these fidget toys that are great for people living with dementia, personally, at Dementia by Day, we don't recommend them. Instead, give them a chore that is still giving them something to do with their hands, but it's purposeful.
Folding, sorting, organizing, something where they can sit down and do it. And the fidget blankets are okay if the person's in a very, very late stage of the disease process and needs something to do with their hands, by all means. But generally speaking, just handing somebody living with dementia a fidget blanket, they're like, "What is this?" Because I would be like, "What is this? Like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do with this?" Or we've seen situations where communities like put them on the wall almost, like make a sensory wall for people to go and like touch, and they just never get utilized because everybody's like, "What is this?"
Yeah, think about it, right? We're all using our senses all the time.
Right.
Everything is a sensory experience. So you can still give your loved one living with dementia a tactile experience, an olfactory experience, although I interestingly enough, Rachel taught me that Alzheimer's specifically, folks with Alzheimer's dementia, they do not usually have such a great sense of
They
smell.
lose their sense of smell eventually, often. So, when it's like, "Oh, we're gonna use these smelling things," which typically is related to an MLM, so I have a problem with that regardless, that a lot of times these, like, oils people buy are, like, related to a pyramid scheme, so I got
Yeah.
a problem with that, but, which is a whole separate problem.
Crossover
Crossover
episode.
episodes, a whole separate problem, but, um some people can't smell. And so I'm like, while it can be a nice thing to use for people who can smell, just keeping that in mind. Yes, we use our senses all the time. So you don't need to necessarily like make a sensory box as much as you could make what we call a creativity box. Anything that people can do, folding, sorting, organizing, something that people have done a million times, but makes them feel useful, successful, important.
And remember to introduce it with, can
Can
you
you
help
help
me with
me?
this?